الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله الله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا وداعيا إلى الله بإذنه وسراجا منيرا اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى سيدنا محمد صلاة وسلاما دائمين متلازمين إلى يوم الدين أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. All praise is due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We seek His assistance and guidance and forgiveness. And we take refuge in Him from the evil within our souls and from the consequence of our misdeeds. Whoever Allah gives guidance to, none can mislead. And whoever He misleads, none can guide. I bear witness that there's nothing and no one worthy of worship besides Allah alone. He has no partners. And I bear witness that Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, peace and blessings be upon him, as his servant and messenger. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant him peace and to extend him our salutations on this special day. Just as we ask him to grant peace to his family members, his companions, and all of those who follow and practice goodwill into the meeting and the reckoning of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه العزيز بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الذين قالوا ربنا الله ثم استقاموا فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in His glorious book, verily those who say we believe in Allah and then they seek uprightness. Upon them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. And another verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ أَلَّا تَخَافُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ الَّتِي كُنتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ. Those who say, verily those who say we believe in Allah and then they stand firm upon it, or those who seek straightness or uprightness, the angels will descend upon them, saying to them, لا تخافوا ولا تحزنوا. You have no reason to fear nor to be sad. ولا تحزنوا وأبشروا بالجنة. And take glad tidings of Jannah, which that you have been promised. That you have been promised. نحن أولياؤكم في الحياة الدنيا وفي الآخرة. We are your allies in this world and in the hereafter. وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَشْتَهِي أَنفُسُكُمْ. And in that realm, you will get whatever your souls have an appetite for. وَلَكُمْ فِيهَا مَا تَدَّعُونَ. And in there, you will get all that you demand. نُزُلًا مِنْ غَفُورٍ رَحِيمٍ. A kind gesture, an act of generosity from a forgiving, merciful Lord. These verses emphasize the importance of being balanced. They emphasize the state, or highlight the state of the believer who stands firm upon truth and places his or her trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a balance between fear and hope. It is a situation where, in spite of all conditions under which we live, that the believer does not despair, nor is the believer become overly presumptuous about his or her state. If the believer places his trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he remembers who is ultimately in control, that there's no reason for fear nor for sadness. Now, we fear things as relates to the future. That fear, it occurs because we ultimately don't know our future. And so we know that right now in our country, there are a lot of people who are fearful, especially Muslims. A lot of Muslims are very fearful about what will happen in light of the recent success of the incoming, the president-elect, as we know. But a believer is one who only addresses those things that he or she has control over and leaves the rest in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's hand. This is like the man who came to the Prophet ﷺ asking him, should I simply leave my camel and place my trust in you, or should I tie it first and then place my trust in you? And then the Prophet ﷺ said to him, "I'qal wa tawakkal." Tie the camel and then place your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Meaning that there are certain things that we can do in this realm in order to protect ourselves, to protect our family, to protect our interests. And once we have done everything that are within our means to do, then we leave it in Allah's hands. Whatever happens beyond that, we trust God's wisdom in that particular situation. That because now it's out of our hands, and there's no need for us to continue to develop a deep anxiety about the situation. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ultimately in control. That He knows the future. He Himself created all of us. And He informed us that this world will not live, will go on forever. He's even reminded us that our lives will not go on forever. And we have not been created for this world. إِنَّمَا خَلِقْتُمْ لِلْآخِرَةِ. That you were not created for this world. You were not created for you were created for the hereafter. That our true home is the hereafter. And so these verses, they emphasize and remind us of this. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He addresses the believers sometimes in the language of commerce, as a way of encouraging us to seek out our good and avoiding those things that will bring harm to us. But all other times, He highlights the very fact that this realm is a realm of warfare. It is a war between demonic and angelic forces. And we ourselves have to choose our side. That we, as believers, have to be people, first and foremost, who deepen our trust and our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and our belief and our confidence and our certainty about the truth of Islam is an extremely important part of this particular, these type of challenges. And but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He speaks about this, or addresses the believers in the context of this realm being a battlefield, He talks about there being those who are allies of God and those who are allies of the shaitan. And when He speaks about the allies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, of God, He says, Inna awliya Allahi la khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun. Verily the allies or the friends of Allah, they have no fear upon them, nor do they suffer sadness. So remember, so fear is about the future, sadness is about the past. The past is the past. You can't dwell on the past. You can't change the past. Right? In the future, we can only do as much as we can to ensure that that future is a good future for ourselves. And when we've done all that we can do, there's no need for us to continue to dwell upon it when there's nothing else that we can do. We place it in Allah's hands beyond that. And whatever outcome occurs beyond that, we put our trust and accept Allah's wisdom, whatever that may be beyond that. But He says, Inna awliya Allahi la khawfun alayhim wa la hum yahzanun. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ. The allies of God are those who, those upon which there is no fear, nor is there any sadness. They are the ones who believed, who had faith, and they were people of taqwa. They were people who kept their duty to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then He says, لَهُمُ الْبُشْرَى فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ. They have good news in this world and in the hereafter. They have good news in this world and in the hereafter. ذَلِكَ وَالْفَوْزُ الْعَظِيمُ. And that is the ultimate achievement. That is the ultimate achievement. The ultimate achievement is not winning the election for the party or the candidate that you wanted to be in office. That's not the ultimate achievement. It's not getting the house that you were looking for. It is not feeling completely safe from all of the dangers of the world like so many other people. And alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has not placed us in a situation where we are suffering the way that people in Syria are suffering right now, or the people in Yemen, people in many other parts of the world. You know, that most of us can complain about is that, yeah, that we get funny stares right now. That sometimes people call us names. And I do caution us all that we should be very vigilant about the situation right now. That we don't become so complacent and say, you know, yeah, put my trust in Allah, yeah, and I just won't worry about anything as I walk down the street or when my family goes out. Yeah, that you should be very vigilant about that, because it should be security minded, right? But when people say things to us, they call us names, and there's no need for us to become aggressive necessarily. We don't, you know, of course, but when we shouldn't allow people to put their hands on us either. And that's one thing that we have to remember as well, that the Prophet ﷺ was a gentle person. He was a merciful person. But he was also a warrior. He was also a warrior. And I'm not saying that, again, the type of extreme type of the type of mindset that certain people have about being a warrior, but it's just basically that we as men especially, that we have a responsibility of protecting our families. You know, and so we don't let people put their hands on our family members. We don't let people put their hands on ourselves, or at least we defend ourselves, even if we lose some time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not promise us that we will have victory in this life all the time. That being a believer does not mean that we're going to win all the time. If anything, it's the opposite. Anything is the opposite. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that there are going to be tests, there are going to be challenges, there are going to be mishaps, and there are going to be setbacks for the believers. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is not our Jannah. That He didn't make this the place where you get all that you want. And if you claim Iman, if you claim to be a believer, I believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not allow for you to make this your Jannah. That some of us may have felt at one time, at one certain point, that prior to the election, you know, that we're almost there, we've made it, finally. But all of a sudden, somebody poked a needle in that balloon, and it deflated, right? We thought we made it, we arrived, we're finally real Americans, right? We're finally with the right party, right? And so this is a wake-up call. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not allow for you to make this your Jannah. If you yourself are abandoning certain responsibilities. We have responsibility of worship. but we also have the responsibility of service to the community. Ibadah and khidmah. That this ummah is the best ummah because of, not only because we believe in Allah and we worship God, but because we serve humanity. Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas. You are the best ummah brought out for humanity. تَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَتَنْهُونَ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ وَتُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ. You enjoy what is good, forbid what is wrong, and you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's about khidmah and ibadah, about service and worship. That our ummah is that's the type of ummah we are, and as long as we're claiming an affiliation with this ummah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not allow for you to make this your agenda. That you're going to have challenges, you're going to have setbacks. And alhamdulillah, you will have moments of ease as well. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ, he warned us about. He warned us about being too complacent. In those times when we feel safe and secure, that we imagine that nothing evil can befall us, and we ignore the plight of other peoples as well. And this is why he said in the famous hadith, تَعَرَّفْ إِلَى اللَّهِ فِي الرَّخَاءِ يَعْرِفْكَ فِي الشِّدَّةِ. Said, become acquainted with Allah. Get to know Allah during times of ease, and He will recognize you during the times of adversity. Become acquainted with Allah during times of ease, and He will recognize you, He will remember you, and know you during times of adversity. So he speaks about this dunya as a battlefield. That they are awliya shaitan, awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, awliya of the malaika. Because we know that for shaitan is not the nemesis of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's not like a god of the earth, this realm of God, and Allah is the God of some other realm. But Allah is God of everything. So we have fear about our future. We have sadness about our past. But Allah tells us if you are a person of balance, then you will find good news in any situation. Ajaban lil-mu'min, that the Prophet has talked about the state of the believer. It's a state of amazement, of a very amazing state of the believer. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not decree anything for the believer except that it is always something good for him. If some adversity comes upon him and he shows patience and endures, then it is good for him. If ease comes upon him and he is thankful, then it is good for him. That is the state of balance for the believer. So there are three primal emotions or impulses that the human being has from the time we are brought into this world. And we need to understand what we are and a way to gain control and mastery over ourselves so that we are not driven to an extreme with regard to our anxiety. Because a lot of Muslims are suffering anxiety right now. A lot of non-Muslims are suffering anxiety at this moment. But we have to understand that we've been given recommendations on how to manage our anxiety. One, again, we do what we can with regard to material means, and then once we have done all that we can, we leave it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is one of the first things. But on another level, when we think about those primal impulses, those of anger and of fear and of desire, that fear can lead to an extreme. Extreme fear can lead to cowardice, such that even if you actually have the upper hand on another person, that your fear overwhelms you so much you become petrified and you allow someone to harm you physically and harm your family physically, that you don't even defend yourself. You don't even do what most animals on this planet, most creatures on the animal attempt to do, and that is to fight for their own survival. That is an extreme. But another extreme is the extreme what we call recklessness. That having no fear at all is a bad thing as well. That when I say, I'm not afraid of anything, and I just plunge right into the midst of a fire, right? And I say, I don't care. That's called recklessness, and that itself is an extreme as well. But courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. And this is a misunderstanding a lot of people have. That courage means fundamentally challenging and taking on and facing your fears. Facing your fears. When you actually muster up the strength to face those fears, right? Then you're a courageous person. If you don't have fear, you're not courageous. You're just reckless. And so fear is a good thing for us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran even He incites us to do things through fearing Him. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He strikes fear into them of Himself. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He encourages or incites through fear. So in order to manage fear, we manage it with courage. That we manage anger with justice. We manage desire with temperance. So we have to understand what particular virtues are required in order for us to manage those particular things. So we have forces that are outside forces. There are human forces that are against us. We have some are non-human forces. Those of the spiritual realm are also working against us. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He wants us to win in this particular battle. And so what I'll end with is this mention and a reminder of a very oft-quoted hadith about one of the things which becomes the major source of anxiety amongst people in this world. And we as Muslims have to reclaim our tradition so that we ourselves are not driven to extremes. And this hadith is reported by a number of different collections, hadith collections, and so the Prophet ﷺ reports have said, "Man kanat ad-dunya hammahu, man kanat ad-dunya hamlahu, ja'ala Allahu fakhrahu fi qalbihi, wa shaddada alayhi amrahu, wa lam ta'tihi min ad-dunya illa ma kutiba lahu." That whoever's concern is this world, whoever is so concerned is this world, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will place poverty in his heart, and he will disperse, or this symbol, his affair, and nothing will come to him from this world except for what has been recorded for him. And so this is because of our concern being this dunya. If our hum is just simply about acquiring the dunya, acquiring the means to secure the wealth that we've been given, and among other things, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He will make it seem as if it's never enough. And then also even forget the akhirah, forget the fact that there is a life after death, and there is a judgment, among other things. And the only thing that we will get from this world is what has been written for us. وَمَنْ كَانَتِ الْآخِرَةُ أَكْبَرَ هَمِّهِ وَمَنْ كَانَتِ الْآخِرَةُ أَكْبَرَ هَمِّهِ جَعَلَ اللَّهُ غِنَاهُ فِي قَلْبِهِ وَجَمَعَ لَهُ شَمْلَهُ وَأَتَته الدُّنْيَا وَهِيَ رَاغِمَةٌ. That whoever makes his greatest concern the hereafter, whoever makes the hereafter his greatest concern, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will place his affluence in his heart, and He will bring together his affairs, and this world will come to him even though it resists. This world will come to him even though it resists. So it's about where your concerns lie. Where are your concerns? Where are your priorities? And so you have to ask yourselves. I have to ask myself, what are my priorities? Are my priorities largely worldly priorities, or are they priorities of the hereafter? And the one thing I'll end on as well is a basic recommendation. Is that beyond looking beyond the asbab, that is to say that placing our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala beyond once we utilize all of our strength to do things and get success through material means, and then placing our trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then trying to readjust what is in our hearts with regard to our priorities. But we also need the prayers of other people. And I believe that one of the most effective prayers that anyone can solicit are the prayers of the oppressed. The prayers of the oppressed people. And so what I'm talking about are like people such as people in Syria. So the prayers of the refugees more than anyone else. Because these are the people, they are the ummah of Muhammad ﷺ, the true ummah of Muhammad ﷺ. In the hadith of Abi Dawood, he mentions that his ummati hadhi ummatu marhumah, that this ummah of mine is a ummah shown mercy. Laysa alayha adabun fil akhirah. It has no punishment in the hereafter. Adabuha fid dunya. Its punishment is in this world. Al-fitanu wa zalazil wa qatl. Civil strife, earthquakes, and murder. So the people, oftentimes we look and see what's happening in the world. People who are innocent who are being killed. People who are dying in natural disasters. People who are being oppressed by their rulers. People who are living in civil war. That the Prophet ﷺ referred to these people as his ummah. Because he's not talking about the general ummah, he's talking about the special people of his ummah. And so we see people who have been forced out of their lands, and they're refugees. And these are people who are living in great distress. These are the people we need to help. These are the people we need to solicit their prayers. So when we find ourselves overwhelmed by fear, then we turn ourselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially after doing all that we can do with regard to our own material needs. We solicit the prayers of the oppressed, and hopefully Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect us through that. And at least while we will suffer sometimes in these type of situations potentially which may come upon us, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He rids us of sin and perhaps even includes us among those. So sometimes it looks like people are losing in this world, but in the hereafter they're actually winning. That this ummah marhumah that the Prophet ﷺ talked about, he said, well, so too bad, I'm glad I wasn't there and I wasn't killed in that earthquake. I'm glad I wasn't there and I wasn't killed in that civil unrest. But those innocent people who all died, they are the people who go straight to Jannah. They don't have to worry about the punishment in the hereafter, as this hadith of the Prophet ﷺ said. وأقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداء الدين. اللهم تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات واغفر لنا اللهم معهم بفضلك وإحسانك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معاصيك، ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك، ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصيبات الدنيا، ومتعنا بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقوتنا ما أحييتنا، واجعله الوارث منا، واجعل فقرنا على من ظلمنا، وانصرنا على من عادانا، وانصرنا على من عادانا، وانصرنا على من عادانا، ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا، ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا، ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا، ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا، ولا مبلغ علمنا، ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك فينا ولا يرحمنا، ولا تسلط علينا من لا يخافك فينا ولا يرحمنا. اللهم لا تسلط علينا من لا يخافك فينا ولا يرحمنا. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته، ولا هما إلا فرجته، ولا دينا إلا قضيته، ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين. ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا. ربنا إننا نسألك الجنة وما يقرب إليها من قول وعمل، ونعوذ بك من النار وما يقرب إليها من قول وعمل. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذريتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. ربنا اجعلنا مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتنا. ربنا وتقبل دعاء. ربنا اغفر لنا ولوالدينا وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. ربنا انزلنا منزلا مباركا وانت خير المنزلين مع الذين انعمت عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين وحسن اولئك رفيقا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الآخرة حسنه وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب النار وقنا عذاب النار. وصل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه الأخيار وسلم تسليما كثيرا. وسبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. وأقيموا الصلاة.
اللهم أكبر اللهم أكبر اللهم أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.